wondering first, first question or two regards a $15 million budget line item that miraculously disappeared a few months ago. I was wondering how you guys decided to include that in the budget originally.
We could not adopt until we received those funds, and as you're aware, we never did receive those funds, which then caused that line item had to be removed out of the budget and replacement revenues to come in.
Okay, thank you for that. So March 2015, you guys decided to include that in the budget approximately?
That decision probably would have been made back late February, beginning of March as we're going through the budget process. Wouldn't have been on that date.
2015 or 16?
16.
So in March of 2016, you guys decided to include it?
At the time of budget introduction, those funds were included, yes.
Okay. And then when did the deal fall apart?
Literally, I think just perhaps a week or two after that.
You guys had no information that, you guys didn't have a signed agreement, right? And the deal fell apart 2 weeks later? You guys thought it was reliable, or like based on what information, I'm trying to get at, I'm not trying to get a gotcha, I'm trying to understand what information you guys actually considered to say, yeah, we're gonna have this money. Okay, a legal question for you, Jay. So, as being the mayor of Oceanport, if you were representing, as an attorney, a developer in Oceanport, and you knew the development deal was gonna fall apart, would you feel duty-bound to your client to not be able to tell the city that you knew that the deal was gonna fall apart? This is hypothetical, I'm not saying that you were doing this.
I'm not going to answer a hypothetical, but
If someone is representing a community, either as a mayor, an assembly person, council person, or other capacity, and they are simultaneously representing a developer in town and are therefore A, privy to sensitive information regarding the transaction in question, and B, duty-bound by confidentiality, if that attorney knew that the deal was going to fall apart, wouldn't they still be duty-bound to not be able to be honest with their constituents about the transaction?
and again, I'm not going to answer that question.
Okay. So then how about this as a non-hypothetical? We know as a fact that Mr. Chevrolet was representing Kate Howard. We know as a fact that he's representing Bayonne. Is Mr. Chevrolet...
He's representing Bayonne in his legal capacity?
No, as our assembly person. He's our public servant.
Okay.
So if he has privy information that a transaction that is harmful to his city is about to occur, such as backing out of a deal and stiffing us over $50 million.
But there's two questions that if you want to give me robes, that'd be nice, but I'm not going to answer that question here.
Okay, so then why was the city investigating Bryan versus Atlantic City in September 2015?
Our attorneys were looking at that case. I don't know.
Who requested that that case be investigated? Do you know what that case is about?
I do know what it's about.
Do you mind explaining to the people here?
Yes, I would mind explaining to it, because you're asking me now to... Well, folks, it's a rather long legal case. It has 6 or 7 different points in it. If you want me to read the whole case, I will. You're just as adept at this. In fact, you must have read it within the past few days, I'm guessing.
I'm really trying to understand, because we were apparently unexpectedly lost the deal in March. But in September, 6 months earlier, city attorneys were researching a case on the invoice for Harbor Station South about a legal case that says a developer can walk away if it is decided that costs have become unreasonably high. So what I'm asking is, if the city had zero understanding or expectation that this deal may fall apart, why 6 months earlier are they researching a case about what was literally about to happen 6 months later?
Were there other points in that case besides that, or was that the sole legal point?
But that's what I'm asking. Why'd you guys...
No, in the Bryant case that you just cited.
That is the main holding of the case, unless you disagree.
I did not read the case, nor did I request any legal counsel on our point to research that. So I am also a lawyer, and I know that even though there are holdings in cases, there are subpoints and other key points that a case may be used for.
Such as?
There are various cases that have multiple key points or keynotes that someone can quote for a reason.
Okay, so maybe for other members of the council or Sharon, do you guys find it appropriate for our assemblyman to get paid to represent developers while we're in the middle of a financial crisis of his own clients doing? That just seems really messed up. He's getting a payday, we're having a financial crisis.
What, I understand what you're asking, but...
Do you find it appropriate?
I don't even know, he might have been representing them before he was even elected. I'm not even, if the client of his company, I'm not sure.
I can provide you the Harbor Station staff legal invoices that show that he was involved in the project from 2014 through March 2016.
I think the council president was indicating she doesn't know how long his relationship was with that client, whether it pre-existed years or...
I think he worked for the same law company before he was assemblyman. I don't know if he had a pre-existing relationship with that client before he became assemblyman, and he was continuing representing them afterwards, and then...
But you don't think his like duty of loyalty to the people of Bayonne might have changed once he was elected and became an assembly person?
You'd have to you know.
So, I mean, I understand you don't want to...
I can't answer for somebody else.
But do you think it's appropriate that he's getting paid by all these people?
He's from his law firm? For the
Cape Howard, Ports of America, Borea Development, who else, Joe?
I don't know, I don't...
I don't work for the firm, I don't have his client list.
Okay. Mr. Coffey, what do you consider the bounds of honest services fraud?
Bob, are we still in the budget
We're in
hearing?
the budget hearing.
Yeah, this is about why $50 million miraculously disappeared from our budget unexpectedly while you guys 6 months prior were researching a law case that was going to allow them to walk. And you're pretending in March that you didn't know that they were going to walk.
I'm not pretending.
Yeah, I'm asking Mr. Coffey a question now.
I know, but you also...
So, Mr. Coffey, what do you consider the bounds of honest services fraud?
What?
Honest services fraud?
I don't know what that has to do with the budget hearing.
Well, I would imagine that the people of Bayonne would have a cause of action against Mr. Chevroletti and possibly other people who may have known.
That side of the budget hearing.
No, there's a hole in our budget caused by honest services fraud. I'm asking if you guys considered whether there was an honest services fraud cause of action here to fix the budget hole.
I understand your thing.
To sue either Reiner Lesniak or Nick Chevroletti or Kate Howard for malpractice or honest services fraud. Did you guys consider?
I haven't looked into it.
Okay, thank you. Not a hard question. Do you guys have any estimate of how much money Mr. Chevroletti has been paid by special interests in town over either the period when he was an assembly person?
Again, we're here on a budget.
Yeah,
amendment.
we can't
What
answer.
I'm trying to get at is, it would seem that there are a lot of transactions in town that unexpectedly or repeatedly go haywire, and my contention would be is that maybe it's because there are people who are funneling these contracts to select people for their own personal benefits, such as Mr. Chevroletti, and my point is that this budget is so deplorable because we continue to tolerate that behavior. So I'm asking, do you guys know at all how much money he's getting paid by Ports of America, Kate Howard?
We wouldn't have